The River Valley High School 20-year reunion was exactly what you'd expect. A parade of faded glory and desperate attempts to prove success. I sat at the back table watching my former classmates compete in the endless game of who made it. My cousin Melissa, now head of the struggling River Valley Business Association, held court at the center table. Of course, we're facing some challenges, but with my leadership. I hid a smile behind my water glass. If only she knew about the papers sitting on my desk at home, waiting for my signature. Sarah. My Uncle George's booming voice carried across the room. Still doing that? What was it? Social work. Nonprofit management, I corrected quietly, though I knew he wouldn't listen. He never had. Right, he chuckled, adjusting his expensive but slightly worn suit. Noble work helping the less fortunate. Though it can't pay much. My phone buzzed discreetly. Final paperwork ready for the River Valley Revitalization Project. $500 million transfer awaiting approval. I manage, I replied, thinking of the foundation I'd built while they all assumed I was just another struggling do-gooder. Melissa sashayed over, her designer dress a size too tight, probably from last season's clearance, given the business association's financial troubles. Sarah darling, I didn't expect to see you here. These events can be expensive. The $75 ticket? I raised an eyebrow. I budgeted carefully. Uncle George and Melissa exchanged knowing looks, the same condescending glances they'd been giving me for years. The failed family member who chose charity work over real business. Well, Melissa continued, her voice dripping with fake concern, if you ever want to learn about actual business management, the association could always use volunteers. To get some real experience. My phone lit up again. Local news breaking story about mystery donor in 10 minutes. Speaking of the business association, I kept my voice neutral. I heard there are some financial challenges? Melissa's smile tightened. Minor cash flow issues. Nothing my leadership can't handle. Right, Uncle George jumped in. Just need to cut some unnecessary programs. Social services, community outreach, that sort of thing. The same programs my foundation was about to save, though they didn't know that yet. The reunion's TV screens, meant to show nostalgic photos, suddenly switched to breaking news. The local anchor's voice filled the room. Breaking news. An anonymous donor has pledged $500 million to save River Valley's struggling business district. The donation, through the secretive Phoenix Foundation, will preserve social programs while revolutionizing local industry. The room went silent. Melissa's champagne glass froze halfway to her lips. $500 million? Uncle George whispered. Who could possibly? The Phoenix Foundation? Melissa's voice cracked. But they're one of the most powerful charitable organizations in the country. I took another sip of water, remembering all the times they'd dismissed my career choice, my little foundation, my dedication to community service. Interesting news, I said mildly. Sounds like those social programs might be safe after all. My phone buzzed one final time. Transfer complete. Phoenix Foundation now controls majority funding for River Valley Business Association. Sometimes the best revenge isn't proving people wrong. It's saving them while they're still busy underestimating you. And I was just getting started. The news spread through the reunion like wildfire. Groups huddled around smartphones, reading about the mysterious Phoenix Foundation and its plans for River Valley. I sat quietly watching my cousins and former classmates speculate wildly about the anonymous donor. It has to be someone local, Melissa was saying, her earlier condescension replaced by desperate curiosity. Someone who knows about our situation. But who has that kind of money in River Valley? Uncle George wondered aloud, tugging at his collar. $500 million. My phone buzzed. Press conference scheduled for tomorrow. Your presence requested as foundation director. Did you hear about this at your little nonprofit? Melissa turned to me suddenly. You must know something about these foundation people. I smiled slightly. You could say that. Well, Uncle George pressed. Any insights? We're family after all. The same family that had mocked my career choices for 20 years. The same family that had dismissed every achievement because it wasn't focused on personal profit. I might know a few things about the Phoenix Foundation, I said carefully. Their focus on community-based development, their preference for comprehensive social programs. Social programs, Uncle George scoffed. What we need is business development. The two aren't mutually exclusive, I replied, thinking of the detailed plan sitting on my desk. Sometimes the strongest businesses grow from healthy communities. My phone lit up again. Local business leaders requesting emergency meeting with Phoenix Foundation representatives. Melissa leaned forward, her designer bracelet clinking against her glass. Sarah, if you have any connections, any way to get us a meeting with these people? Us. I raised an eyebrow. Well, yes, she flustered. As head of the business association, I should be involved in any major decisions about our community. The same community whose social services you were ready to cut? I asked quietly. She had the grace to look embarrassed. That was just business reality. We couldn't afford to help people? I finished. Funny how money changes perspectives, isn't it? Another news alert flashed across the reunion screens. Phoenix Foundation director to meet with local leaders tomorrow. Sources say comprehensive revival plan already in motion. Tomorrow. Uncle George's voice cracked. But that's so soon. We're not prepared. I checked my watch, the same simple timepiece they'd mocked at last year's family gathering. Actually, I need to leave early. Big day tomorrow. Leave. Melissa grabbed my arm. But you have to tell us what you know about the foundation. About the donor. Standing up, I smoothed down my modest dress, the one she'd earlier dismissed as clearance rack chic. You know what's interesting about success? I said softly. It doesn't always wear designer labels or broadcast its wealth. Sometimes it quietly builds something meaningful while others are busy showing off. What are you talking about? Uncle George demanded. My phone buzzed one final time. Car ready out front, Ms. Director. Press packets prepared for tomorrow's announcement. I have a meeting to prepare for, I smiled. A rather important one about the future of River Valley. Melissa's eyes widened as realization slowly dawned. Sarah, you don't mean. The Phoenix Foundation looks forward to working with the Business Association, I said professionally. Though there will be some changes to the leadership structure, of course. Can't have people who don't value community service making decisions about community resources. The silence that followed me was deafening. 20 years of condescension, of dismissing my work as just charity, of assuming success only counted if it came with a luxury car and designer wardrobe. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving them wrong, it's showing them that true power comes from helping others, not exploiting them. And tomorrow, they'd learn exactly what my little nonprofit could do. The next morning, I walked into River Valley's largest conference center wearing the same modest dress from the reunion. Camera crews were already set up, waiting to meet the mysterious director of the Phoenix Foundation. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since last night. Messages from family members who suddenly remembered my existence, former classmates claiming they'd always believed in me, and Melissa's increasingly desperate attempts to secure a private meeting. Miss Phoenix. A reporter approached. Or should I say, Miss Sarah Mitchell? Sarah is fine, I replied, watching Uncle George and Melissa hurry through the doors, both trying to look like they belonged in this meeting. Sarah. Melissa called out, smoothing her hastily chosen business suit. We should talk before the meeting. As family. Family. I raised an eyebrow. Like when you told the Business Association board that my community development proposals were naive charity work? She paled slightly. That was. I didn't mean to dismiss 20 years of careful planning and community building? I finished. Or didn't mean for me to find out about it. My phone buzzed, all local news channels live. Ready when you are. Uncle George stepped forward, his usual bluster subdued. Now, Sarah, let's be reasonable. We're all on the same side here. Are we? I asked quietly. Were we on the same side when you voted to cut funding for the youth center? Or when you dismissed my warnings about sustainable business practices? The room was filling up with local business leaders, reporters, and community members. All eyes were on the interaction between the newly revealed foundation director and her clearly uncomfortable relatives. Ladies and gentlemen, I addressed the room, moving to the podium. Welcome to the future of River Valley. The screens behind me lit up with the Phoenix Foundation's comprehensive plan, a blueprint I'd spent years developing while they thought I was just running a small nonprofit. Our $500 million investment isn't just about saving businesses, I continued. It's about building a sustainable community, where social services aren't seen as optional extras, but as fundamental building blocks of economic success. Melissa sank into a chair as the details appeared on screen, including the foundation's new oversight role in the business association. Effective immediately, I announced, all funding will be contingent on maintaining robust community support programs. Businesses that demonstrate social responsibility will receive preferential investment. Uncle George's face had gone an interesting shade of gray. But that's not how business works. No, I corrected him gently. That's not how you did business. While you were all focused on quarterly profits, I was building something bigger. A foundation that proves success and social responsibility aren't mutually exclusive. My phone lit up with another message. Stock prices rising for all participating companies. Social media overwhelmingly positive. The Phoenix Foundation, I continued, will be implementing immediate changes to local business leadership. Those who demonstrated a commitment to community values will find opportunities for advancement. Those who didn't. I glanced at Melissa and Uncle George, will be offered guidance in finding more suitable positions. The reporter's cameras clicked rapidly, capturing the moment the failed family member revealed herself as one of the most powerful philanthropists in the region. But you work in nonprofit. Melissa burst out. You shop at department stores. I smiled. Amazing how much money you can save and invest when you're not trying to prove your worth through designer labels. While you were buying status symbols, I was buying futures. As the presentation concluded and the applause filled the room, I couldn't resist one final observation. Oh, and Melissa, about that real business experience you offered me? I think I'll stick to running my multi-billion-dollar foundation. Though we are looking for volunteers if you'd like to learn how actual community leadership works. The look on her face was priceless. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just saving their businesses. It's showing them that true success isn't measured in personal wealth, but in the lives you change. And I did it all while they thought I was just another poor social worker, too naive to understand real business. Because sometimes, the biggest power move is letting them underestimate you until you're ready to save their world. My phone buzzed one last time. Community center funding secured. Youth programs expanded. Mission accomplished. Now that was real success.